Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, LarryWBrooks.
Every week, the King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires are in the making.
Create wealth for generations. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. I want to thank everyone in the audience for tuning in this week. We have a really exciting episode planned for you all. First things first, take some time, like, subscribe, and share. The Prime Real Estate Network podcast channel on YouTube does outstanding work as far as helping us in the algorithm and getting our message out to as many people as we can. Look, man, I want to thank everybody for checking in with us this week. Today's episode is entitled Mind, Body, and Business. We want to show how your mind and your body is also perfectly in sync with your professional, your real estate, your entrepreneurial aspirations, goals, and dreams. And today's guest is going to give us great gems on how to bring all those things together and make our 2023 our most successful year to date. But first things first, I'd like to introduce my co-host, man. I want to thank him for hanging out with us this week like he does every Thursday. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, he's a multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, and the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand. I want to thank him for sitting in with us, and I'd like to introduce not only a fitness enthusiast, but he is also the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. LarryWBrooks. What's going on?
Yo, I can't call it Rick, man. Just a early morning and just enjoying it, man. And just no complaints, man. It's been an amazing week. Just got a lot of things accomplished. We rocking and rolling, still in the first quarter, still in the first month of the year. So, you just making all your goals and the visionary tasks that you have for yourself come true.
For those who aren't in the know, you recently had an opportunity. The Prime Real Estate Network and Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm just hosted a great event out in the Austin, Texas area. Mm-hmm. So for those who aren't in Austin and didn't have an opportunity to come out and meet and greet the Texas Real Estate King live and in person, give us the Cliff Notes version of what went on last week in the ATX.
It was good, man. What can I say? We hosted a happy hour in the Dominion area of Austin, Texas, which is a very popular area, very nice hotels, very luxury style shopping area. And we hosted a happy hour there after speaking to the Champion School of Real Estate students. We had a great welcoming, very, very warm. And so myself and Sid, we just really enjoyed the moment of just being there, pouring into other people and just kind of letting them know that the Prime Real Estate Network, Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm is there. We're in Austin now. We're touchable. We're scheduling appointments now in order to just sit down with you and see how it is that we can help grow your business. So we're excited about it.
Man, I thank you so much for sharing, man. It's always great to build, to expand, because this year, 2023, man, is something that I see so many successes on the horizon, man. And I urge everyone in the audience, man, to get out, get it going, and make something happen, man, because this year, man, I just feel just great things on the horizon.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. I listen, I am on a mission with it myself. I was actually got up early this morning. I was featured on the 9 to 10 a.m. Michigan news channel. So I was over there talking about real estate and what we can expect from the real estate market, not only here in Texas, but countrywide. And so had an opportunity to speak to some people over there, and there were some newscasters over there, an amazing conversation. And so, man, yeah, I'm just trying to be in as many places as I can to spread the word about real estate, that people are still buying, people are still purchasing, and you can still find great entrepreneurs on the Prime Real Estate Network coming in to speak to them too.
And look, and that just brings us to today's episode, Larry, man. Today's episode is entitled Mind, Body, and Business.
Yeah.
Now, people who follow you online understand that you're a great proponent of working out, fitness, general health, and wellness. So just like you do every week, can you share with our audience a little bit of the background you have with today's guests, how you guys were introduced, and what links did you have to go to get their commitment to sit in with us on the podcast this week?
Yeah, man. Well, today's guest, man, is a friend of mine. Has been a friend for many, many years. I met him before, when I was first actually getting my real estate journey, really started really knocking it out the ballpark, and then met him when he was making his transition into the fitness area that he's in now. But man, let me tell you, I can't even put enough words to back the what he's done. He is a life changer. He's a visionary, a body changer. Like, it's so many terms that I could use. I'm pretty sure the people, his teammates, his community around him have so many more accolades that they could give. But man, the guest that we have today, hands down, if you're seeing this video and you're not already following this gentleman and following the things that he's doing, you have no idea what you're missing. And so I need for everyone that's under my voice, as you tap into this, you share this, and you go and you follow the platforms that he has in place, and you see the community that he's built. You see the life-changing movement that he has going on. But man, today's guest is an amazing person, great friend of mine, and I'm excited to have him on the platform. Believe it or not, I reached out to him probably about 2 years ago about the platform, but you know how social media can be sometimes. It gets bogged down and caught up into other ventures. But just happy to have him here finally, man.
Oh, look, man, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce this week's guest. This fine gentleman is not only a fitness expert and entrepreneur, but he is also the host of the His Healthy Habits podcast. I want to thank him for sitting in with us this week, and I'd like to introduce to the Prime Real Estate Network audience, Mr. Reggie Collier. How you doing, Reg?
I'm doing great, y'all, man. Thank y'all. It's an honor to be here. I'm ready to get going. Let's give some gems, some jewels, like my man Larry did when he got on my podcast. I just want to give as much information, inspiration, and instruction I can from my perspective, y'all.
Okay, first thing first, Reg. Larry introduced our audience a little bit to you and his personal background, how far you guys go back, how you guys met and interact. But could you just give us a little bit more insight into that transition into the fitness space that Larry touched on? What were you going through? What was the catalyst and what was the motivation? And what were you doing before fitness? And just give us a little bit of background into that transition, please.
Man, great question. It's crazy you asked that. I literally was just going through my phone and found some memories of myself when I used to be an accountant. Yeah, I was an accountant. I work in AP. For those that don't know, that's accounts payable. I worked at one of the largest oil companies called Saudi Aramco. And I was there from actually the time I was an intern. I started as an intern my sophomore year in college at Texas Southern University. Did another internship my senior year. They hired me while I was still in college, which was a major blessing at the time. And therefore, I stayed with them several years. And I was, from there, I got real comfortable. I had a great 9 to 5, great job, great pension, great 401k, from a young Black man who, didn't have much of that. I was kind of living a life, and then from living that life, I was eating a lot, drinking and partying a lot. Larry knows I used to be involved heavily in the club scenes, and I used to also be a DJ back in the day too. And at this point, I was really just literally living every day to the fullest and not even really paying any attention to my health. I was a young guy, and I just saw the money coming in, and I didn't have a thought about investing it in the right ways, whether, it was neither wealth or health. at that time in my earlier 20s. So basically, man, my roommate at the time, we were headed out. We were going to Miami. And, man, this is about 2008-ish. And we went to Miami, man. So when P90X came out, and P90X, man, and Insanity. So we like, man, we're going to get on this P90X for 2 weeks, man. So we get these 6-packs. And, so we get on the beach, we can flex them, but we only need 2 weeks, man. So, we grinding hard. We doing P90X every day after we come home from work. Right after that, we going straight to McDonald's. And man, we get to Miami, and I took a picture. Still got this picture to this day. It's crazy. And I saw that picture, and when we got back home, this is before social media was really big, so I had to upload the picture on my computer. And I saw that picture. I was like, "That's not me." I said, that's not how I felt on the beach. I felt like I looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now I look more like a young Homer Simpson, So, that was the reality check. And then after that, man, my roommate, he worked at Fitness Connection. So he was already a trainer. So he was kind of like my inspiration for getting into the game. I was watching him, train people. And then, after that, I was like, man, I said, I gotta make a change, after seeing that. So that's when I start really diving in and learning as much as I could, and, talking to as many people as I could, and using all the platforms like YouTube, Google, everything that was out there, and, getting a couple certifications and just trying to transform myself first. And that was really the main thing. I just want to transform myself. I was like, man, I want to see myself at a better state. And then when I did, of course, this was earlier stages of Instagram. Instagram, I think it just came out. Mm-hmm. Facebook was still really blossoming at that time. And we ended up putting my transformation out there and got a lot of awareness, from the social media standpoint. And I picked up a couple of close friends and started training them in my own garage for free and in the parks. And then, those close friends I got a couple of transformations with, and then it just kind of grew to where it is today.
No, but see, Reggie, man, what's so inspirational about your story is that so many members of our audience have been in the same place that you were in on both sides of the fence. So since you're a trainer now, you're an entrepreneur, you own your own business, you own your own brand, you're building your following. How hard is it for some of your clients right now to believe that at one time you were the white collar shirt and tie accountant dude in the office, and that you understand all of the stresses that they go through that may have caused them to gain weight or fall out of shape or let their fitness regimen go? How hard is it for people to believe that you have that type of experience and you can empathize and sympathize and understand where they're coming from?
Rick, that's a great question, man. Very hard. I think, once you're fit, people think you were born that way.
No doubt.
So, or just once you're in a healthier state, or, a better physical state aesthetically, where you're more, just basically appealing to the average person. So, and then, it's interesting you say that too, Rick, because it actually happens with my clients now. Like when my clients have such drastic visual transformations, no matter if they lost, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 200 pounds, or what, people can't believe that, they were once in an unhealthy, out of shape state because they look so amazing, but you're right. It's really like people they rarely believe, I was the person I was when I was a kid. I was actually going bald at the time, right before I went into my weight loss journey. My waist size was like a 36, now I average like a 26, 28, so kind of shows you the differences. But yeah, Rick, man, it's very hard for people to believe, but you're right. And I think that's the beauty of while I was able to succeed, because I was never, like the athlete who just turned over to training, or, is that person who's real active, who just like, okay, chose personal training or fitness as a secondary career. Like it was actually a primary career that was a passion of mine, that after I saw how it helped my confidence, just who I was as a person, to believe that I could see and do anything. After I achieved that physical state, it just led into all dynamics, kind of like how you and Larry are. Just now believing we could be those successful serial entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Say it's so crazy, Reg, man. I think about it, and as I've watched it grown in the platform and the vision, I want to know in my mind, I'm like, what is this? What is this? What are whispers, or what does the consultation look like when you first meet someone before they have this amazing change? Because it's one of those things like it's almost like you have to almost get a small bit of addiction in order to really achieve that goal and start to visualize and start to see, you go from 3 pounds to 10 pounds to 20, or, just to see that body transformation. So what is like one of those first consultations like when you're talking to someone just before you get them excited about moving forward?
Yeah, that's a great question, Larry. For me, as I've grown and graduated in my profession, it's really gotten to, getting people at first understanding, do you have the right mindset and the right thought process behind, what you want to achieve? Because a lot of people see the results, and they want to do amazing, but a lot of people aren't ready, mentally, psychologically, or emotionally, actually, also sometimes. And so I asked them, like, what's your why? Why are you doing this? Who are you doing it for? And at the end of the day, if they answer anybody else but themselves, I tell them you may want to just kind of take a step back, rethink before you jump into this, because it's not it's not an easy process, but you'll definitely succeed if you have the right mindset.
Yeah, that's it, man. Because when you get to watching it, man, it is it's an amazing change. But then not only that, I always felt like when you start to find yourself healthy wise, or when whatever that is for you, you start to make better decisions, not only with just your day-to-day activities, but even with your work. Like you start to make better decisions and better you start to find yourself really putting yourself around the right kind of people. You start to make just better decisions around your life overall when you find that consistency. Because I was listening to something and it made so much sense. It said if you can find time to physically get yourself in shape, and it's a long, tedious journey. So it's not overnight success. So you can find luxury in any other business or any other item that you ever choose to have, because you're able to go through that slow process of watching your body change as you continue to build it up and get it healthy. So I always thought that was a great way of just people moving into different sections.
Man, totally agree there.
I got a question this question is for Larry, but it works into this conversation. Larry, since you decided to rededicate yourself to working out, eating better, health and fitness, how have you seen, as you've improved fitness-wise, how that's correlated to what you do business-wise, professionally? Have you seen a boost in your energy? Have you seen a boost in your confidence? Does it give you that little extra pep to get out there and make it happen as you get in better shape? Because sometimes we wonder, are we risking it all by dedicating so much to work and what we do and not necessarily putting as much into our physical fitness and health?
Well, I think it's a direct correlation, right? Like I think that when you are feeling self-confidence comes from image. Dion, I'm a sports guy. So Dion was the guy that started, if you look good, you play good, right? And it's the same thing when you're in the world of sales and entrepreneurship. When you put on your suit or when you put on your vest or your tie or your shorts and you feel good, you're going to walk into that room with such a confidence. That's going to be an extra boost in you either closing a transaction or making whomever you're working for feel comfortable that they can trust you with selling their property, or trust you when they're in front of you and someone is negotiating with you, that your self-confidence is strong enough to get through. So I think that it really takes you to the next level when it comes to just your acumen and the way that you move throughout the day. You just make better. You're more clear. And then we're just talking about image-wise. I'm not even talking about the endorphins that it releases, the excitement and the self-confidence that you get from just being comfortable with who you are. So, man, it's another level of experience. Yeah.
And Reg, can you just share with our audience, without getting too specific, but some of the things that you've noticed in some of your clients? Have you noticed that they've become more outgoing, more confident, or have even any of your clients have opportunity to just tell you some of the professional triumphs that they're enjoying after becoming a part of your fitness family?
Oh man, Rick, most definitely. Let me tell you, I don't know, just so the people who are watching this, I own or manage an all-female fitness, weight loss and wellness center. Mm-hmm. So simplistically put, when these women achieve these major transformations, you can't tell them nothing after that.
That's nothing. I've seen them, man. I've been out with your team members and be at different events, You can't tell, hey, nothing at all. Yeah.
Yo, it's like because a lot of these women were already, professionally successful, personally successful, whether it be their family. But the only thing they had to get was that physical state of success. Right. And Rick, I'm telling you, when they get that, woo, you gotta shut the significant others gotta shut down their social media platforms because boys is in their DMs, man.
No, but Reggie, man, I appreciate you being so transparent because the reason why I was so excited when Larry told me that you were able to sit in with us this week is because these things in our life that all go hand in hand, for whatever reason, we try to compartmentalize and separate them, like family, health, business. All those things make up who we are. Yeah. And if we're lacking in one of those areas, it could affect the other areas naturally. True. But when we're talking about the value of eating cleaner, being healthy, being fit, having a regimen, joining a team like yours, what are some of the, I don't want to use the word excuses, but what is some of the pushback, Reg, that you hear from people when they're procrastinating or trying to give you reasons why they're going to sign up and start their training with you next month?
Great, man. Great question. Number one is always time. People say it's time. Reggie, I don't have time. I can't make that drive. You're too far, or just hours don't coincide, or I got my family here. And I tell people all the time, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Beyonce got the same 24 hours as us. The Rock got the same 24 hours. Kevin Hart has the same 24 hours. At the end of the day, it's all this, what you decide is a priority to you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And I think at the end of the day, whenever we end our day, we sit in our bed, the only person we actually can lay fault on how that day went is us, because we make those choices of what we want to choose and what we want, to prioritize in our life. Yeah. So number one is time, always. Number two, roundabout to be finances. But again, here I say, there are things we choose to invest in. You'll see us as a minority group that sometimes we like to invest in other things that bring actually no benefit to our life and the after effects when we purchase it. I'm talking about like cars that, we can probably sometimes downgrade. I tell people you have to really look at where you're putting your coins into, because at the end of the day, like Rick said, and like you said too, Larry, if we don't have our health, you may not be able to drive that car 10, 20 years down the line. You may not be able to move around that mansion or that house effectively or as much as you want. So those are kind of things. You may not be able to, take that flight, or that trip that you want if you don't have the correct health, your health in the state that it needs to be. So
okay. Let's be gentlemen. We all are businessmen, entrepreneurs, family people, those that want to give back to the community. So right now, this question is for both of you gentlemen, and I just want to take some time to get an idea of how you guys feel about certain things. Ultimately, with exercise and fitness and eating well, we talk a lot about, like you said, Reg, what we invest in. To Larry's earlier point, if you're at work and you feel as if you may have been passed over for that last promotion, if you're a salesperson and your sales numbers have been lagging for the last maybe 4 to 6 weeks and you're racking your mind trying to figure out what's going on, I urge everyone to take some of Larry's advice and some of yours, Reggie, and invest in your personal fitness.
Yeah.
If you feel better, you'll react, you'll have more energy, you'll be more confident. And I'm sure Larry can speak to this. Reggie, you can speak to this as well with your experience in corporate America.
Yep.
Especially in this country, your image and your physical appearance is very, very important in business.
Mm-hmm.
Larry, as somebody who has a real estate brokerage, is the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand, and all your other businesses. Could you speak towards how you feel how important someone's physical appearance and their image is from a business perspective?
Yeah, and again, I think it's more or less for the person themselves, right? Because us as people out in the public, we're gonna handle you however it is, however your energy level is, right? If we can walk in and we see that you got low self-esteem because of maybe something that you feel uncomfortable stepping up on a step, or you breathing hard because of this, like we as human beings, we may project our overwhelming thoughts on you, but really, it really comes down to you being happy with where you are. So I mean, I'm one of those people that, you know, you may not, you know, when I was going on my journey, I like to be a certain size, a certain weight with my abs to pop, you know what I'm saying, during the summertime. But then you got some people that's not important. It's just the ability to comfortably put on the shoes, comfortably put on a particular outfit that they want to. And I think that projects, that energy is what comes out of you. So it's not even about what somebody else presumes your beach body to be, but what it is that you presume your jacuzzi body may look like. Like, so that's what I think of when I think about the energy that comes from it, man. Like that's overwhelmingly where it's at. Yep.
No, that's so important. And Reg, could you speak to what Larry talks about as far as an individual setting their own individual goals and their own individual standards for themselves and their fitness journey?
Yeah, most definitely, man. I mean, I tell people, you know, they come to me and my main goal is to help you become the best version of yourself, you know, and that's physically, mentally, and emotionally. But I tell people all the time, I can help you achieve the best physical state, but just because, like Larry said, you may get those summertime abs or those popping shoulders, or you just every muscle you lean, body fat low, that doesn't mean you're happy. You may have been happier 10 or 20 pounds heavier, because you were able to enjoy life, you had a balance of life, and it was a more realistic state for you to maintain. And that's what I encourage people. Find your happy medium. And when you find your happy medium, that's when you, like Larry said, man, your energy gonna be on 100.
No doubt. Yep.
No, but Reg,
but you know, Reg, another thing is I know that your core, your beginning business, and one of your foundations was training women to go out and become amazing when it comes to their fitness and their image. But before, I want to most definitely dig deep, and I want you to be able to share about the new podcast that you just rolled out. And I want to know, I personally know, because you and I have had an opportunity to talk about it. I visited, I was on the podcast, but I want you to tell our audience, I guess, more about that. Now, you're going from, mainly focusing on, the amazing thing that you've been with transformation for women, to actually getting into this new space. I want you to talk a little bit about that podcast, that business model, and why it is that that's important for you at this stage in your building and your entrepreneurship.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you even bringing light to that, Larry. So the reason why I initiated my podcast, and it's called His Healthy Habits, was initially because over the last several years, I've been transforming many women's lives in a positive manner. The guys would always be like, Reg, when you gonna do something for the men, man? When you gonna? The name of my gym is the Queen's Compound. So they like, Reg, when you gonna start the King's Compound? So honestly, I'm a person, I follow my passions, I follow my heart, I follow what's burning inside of me. And what really I noticed, I didn't have that passion yet to start an all men's gym, but I did have a passion to connect with like-minded men who have the same thought processes and build a network to change the world for the better, and more so, not just the world, as I mentioned to Larry. The reason behind this podcast is to connect with people like you, Rick, like Larry, many more men, starting here locally in Houston, and create a summer academy for minority males between the ages of 6 and 16 to introduce them to the avenues of entrepreneurship at an earlier stage. So if that's something that they want to dive into, they'll be privy to that without having to go through as many of the struggles and the setbacks and the shortcomings as we did, because we're going to provide them the resources, the techniques, the tips to be able to hone in and find what hobbies or passions that they may have and see how to make a profit or a paycheck off of it.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man.
Yep.
And just when we talked about it, just the passion behind it, man, I think it's amazing. And it's needed. That's the best way I can sum it up. It's something that's needed. I'll be speaking at a conference that's actually this coming weekend, and it's one of those things that as well as entrepreneurs, young kids, as high school students, and they're just trying to expose them to entrepreneurship at such a young age, over 1,200 students. So I'm excited about it. I'll be sharing information that I have about your podcast and when I was on it, man. So it's just one of those things that continues to back up that growth, man. But you starting that platform and it's been on fire, man, is a great, it's great concept.
Man, thank you, Larry. Thank you. And any support I can give to y'all, you know, I know we're always on the move, but things like that, y'all make sure y'all call me. I'll be there, you know.
No, and you know, before we get you out of here, Reg, and I want to thank you so much. I know how busy your Thursdays are, man, so we can't keep you forever.
That was good, man.
But there's going to be members that are part of your fitness family who see this interview. I hope they learn some new stuff about Reggie C that they didn't know before. There's going to be people who've heard about your gym, who haven't had an opportunity to visit or stop by. So first things first, let's make sure we get the address out, invite everybody to stop by and see what's going on at the Queens compound.
All right. Well, address, thanks, Rick. Address is locally located centrally in Houston. Exit down from where the Texans play. And that's 9223 Stella Link, Houston, Texas, 77025. That's in-person services. That's our brick and mortar, but we got online services for everybody. We got an online challenge, a 90-day challenge. Even the men can join it. We got guys losing weight. Our infamous step subscription is online, and you know, got a lot of virtual resources too. So, and again, y'all got that. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have the social media scrolling. IG is Reggie C Fitness, Facebook Reggie C Fitness, TikTok Reggie C Fitness too. So,
and then for those members of our audience that have been so intrigued and enthralled in our conversation, that would love to meet and greet and interact with Reggie Collier personally, when was the next opportunity for the Prime Real Estate Network audience to get out and get in contact with you?
So y'all, we are doing on February 8th, which is a big blessing that we're performing a workout at the halftime for the Houston Rockets.
Whoa, okay.
Word up.
Yeah.
Baby.
A live at 5 workout with the Rockets, and they'll be playing the Sacramento Kings. So looking forward to seeing our community there, and anybody else, you know, just come see us, check us out, and show love, show support. Appreciate it, y'all.
Congratulations on that, man. Congratulations.
That's a real good look. That's a real good look, man. Thank you so much, Reg, man, for carving some time out your schedule to sit in. I want to commend you for the work that you're doing and let you know that it's much needed. Larry and I talk a lot on this podcast about how our community is underserved in so many facets of American society. Health, wellness, and fitness is also another aspect where I feel like our community is underserved. So please continue to do what you're doing. Anything that you have going on, you know, Larry and I are definitely supporters. So definitely keep us in touch, man. And anytime you want to sit in with us again, man, you're more than welcome.
Thank y'all. Y'all know I'm just a text away. Like I said, any way I can help, you know, give this knowledge, give these gems like Larry is giving to me, like Rick, you have too. I'm just a text away. Y'all let me know.
Appreciate you, Reg. Thank you, brother, man. Have you, man. Talk to you soon. All
right, y'all, man. Y'all be blessed. Thanks, y'all.
Absolutely, no doubt. Come on now, Brooks, man. Stop, bro. Man. Where the clapper at? We need the clapper. We need the clapper for an interview like that, bro. We need the clapper, bro.
Hey, you know what? It's so crazy, Rick, man. Like you just, you know, here's the thing about life, right? If life don't do nothing else, time gonna show you. It's gonna show you evolution. It's gonna show you change. It's gonna show you either, you know, people changing and becoming greater, or people changing and, you know, they become the local crackhead back in the day. But man, I've just as I became more seasoned in life, man, I've had an opportunity just to watch so many of my friends that I met when I started my career blossom in their careers, man. So man, I have nothing but amazing words to tell you about how Reggie is building out. Things are going, man. So great job with the interview today. You did an amazing job at pulling out some great questions, some great concepts, man. And for those of you that are not following, most definitely go and follow Reggie C Fitness on all those platforms. You have no idea whom it is you just heard from. He's a very humble guy, but I need you all to understand this is a guy that changes lives. I've seen it with my own eyes.
You know, man, and it is, man. I thank you so much, man, for getting ready to sit in with us. I know a lot of our audience is like, wow, they got a fitness pro on the show today, man. How this gonna work? But you know, man, when you Prime Real Estate Network family, man, we try to look out for you for the whole 360, man. We try to take care of mind, body, and spirit, man. So
that's right.
From that standpoint, man, you did an outstanding job having Reggie C sit in with us, man.
Yeah.
Before we sign off this week, Mr. Texas Real Estate King, is there anything you like to share with the audience, man? What's moving and grooving and shaking and baking with you this weekend?
Off top, man, I want to most definitely first say thank you to, well, I'm going to be speaking this Saturday at Future Business Leaders of America. It's over in Cypress, Texas. It's a conference for seniors in high school, over 1,200 students, man. And I want to first say thank you to all of my friends that I sent the text message out to, and you were able to help out with sponsoring some books. I want to give some books. I want to give some entrepreneurship books to some of these students that they can start to use and trace back paths of building out their own business if they choose to do that. So thank you to all those friends that I reached out to, and you were able to help out by sponsoring some of the books that I'm able to now give to these students. And I'm excited about it, man. And I'm just appreciative and humbled by the relationships that we have that has allowed me to be able to do so.
Hey, man, you know, as always, big shout out to everybody at Champion School of Real Estate.
Yeah.
Ran into a proud graduate of Champion School of Real Estate. And of course, they talked about, yeah, I know Mr. Larry Brooks. So I just want you to know, man, all those semesters that you stopped by and you spoke to those students there, they haven't forgotten you. And they're out here in the real estate community flourishing and growing. Yeah. And I always tell them, man, you know, whenever you need a new real estate home, man, Brooks and Davis there for you. So just know, man, we gonna try to get them back in the fold now that they got that license going, man.
No doubt about it, man. Listen, that's good stuff, man. So what you got going this weekend?
Hey, man, open house. I want to invite everyone out to our open house at 2118 Melanie Park Drive. Beautiful home in Spring, Texas. A lot of great things. Real estate networking mixer this evening at 6 p.m. I'll be stopping out, man. I'll be doing some stuff with the HBREA, some stuff with some of the other people that we work with, man. So this is one of those busy times of the year. You know how it is, Larry. It's the first quarter of a new year.
First quarter, man. Yeah.
So stay tapped into the Texas Real Estate King on IG. Stay tapped into Prime Real Estate Rick on Instagram, man. I invite everyone out to anything that we have going, man, because I would love to meet, greet, and interact with anybody who checks out the podcast on a regular basis, man.
Yes, indeed.
Any final words, Mr. Larry Brooks?
Yeah, have a good one, guys. Appreciate you all. Please share and subscribe. Please share, subscribe. Yeah, let people know.
Hey, man, on behalf of myself, the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry Brooks, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Until next Thursday, here in the noon hour, man, everyone in the audience, please be safe and be blessed.